Welcome to another installment of This Is Not Normal on the Political Drain podcast with Drill Sergeant Doug, aka Admin Doug, a U.S. Army veteran, teacher, musician, and family man from Jamaica, now fights for justice and democracy through commentary and humor. Follow him on YouTube at Political Drain and at Sons of Liberty Official as Drill Sergeant, aka Admin Doug, continues to protect our freedoms.
Caught up with Alex Montero on Wednesday, who says he was working the night this Kimberly-Clark warehouse along Hellman in Ontario caught fire. Montero is stunned to see this video because this person, he says, is his fellow co-worker, Shamil Abdul Karim.
There goes your inventory. There goes your inventory. There goes your inventory.
Nice. What's up, YouTube? Drill Sergeant here. And I'm not going to have to say too much for the sake of still having a channel when it's done. But I will say this. When they said pitchforks and torches, what did you think they meant?
Should have paid us enough to fucking live. You know, we may not get paid enough to fucking live, but these bitches dirt cheap. All you had to do was pay us enough to live. All you had to do was pay us enough to fucking live. All you had to do was pay us enough to live.
All right, so first, it's important to note that nobody was hurt.
Note to the resistance. Pitchforks and torches refer to what it was like when they were under serfdom. That was under feudalism. I'll give you a good definition here. Serfdom is the weird private city where everyone has to pay dues to a person who has their own little state. That's what they want us to be under. That's why they can't give you enough to live. But in serfdom times, the point is, back then it was agricultural. Everybody had a pitchfork, literally, and torches lit the night because there was no electricity. And they didn't mean pitchforks and torches. They meant the burning down of your building, the breaking down of your electric gate to your neighborhood, the ransacking of your security gate, and the turning over and setting ablaze your Lincoln Navigator and your Hummer. The breaking of the windows of your 5-story mansion on a hill all its own. It will be climbed. It will be scaled. Your hill is not safe, nor is your warehouse. His head, man.
We caught up with Alex Montero on Wednesday, who says he was working the night this Kimberly-Clark warehouse along Hellman in Ontario caught fire. Montero is stunned to see this video because this person, he says, is his fellow co-worker, Shamil Abdul Karim.
There goes your inventory.
I just got done talking to him. He had just came over and helped me out with my truck. I was 5 doors down from him.
Fire officials say the fire started on Tuesday just after midnight and quickly grew because of the large amount of paper products inside the warehouse that fueled the flames.
They called break and I went outside, I was sitting in my car, and not even 10 minutes go by and I heard the alarm.
It took crews several hours to get the fire under control, even using drones to extinguish the hotspots after all 20 employees inside were evacuated. Moments later, Ontario police arrested Abdul Karim for arson. And tonight, Kimberly-Clark says the distribution center was operated by a third-party logistic partner, NFI Industries, and added that a response team has been activated to help relocate impacted workers and minimize customer and consumer impact.
How long have you been working there with the company?
About 3 weeks. Yeah, just started making good money, dude. You know, they called us hoping to relocate us to another warehouse, you know, but if anyone else is hiring, you know.
All right, so I'm going to get to some reactions to this news, which again reminded me a bit of the reaction to Luigi Mangione. But that employer there, his coworker, says he was making good money. Sounds like he was a truck driver. He was the one that was unloading the truck. So I did do a little search. This is from Glassdoor. So again, these are estimates, averages here. But we can guess that the warehouse worker was maybe making around $37K to $46K, while the truck driver was making $60K to $88K. So there's a really good breakdown here. This is FM Smith 319 on TikTok. This is from a year ago.
It's not the overspending, it's the cost of living. Here is a breakdown of the average Gen Z and millennials' cost of living in today's world. So number one is rent. Everyone knows that Gen Z and millennials have to have a roommate. So splitting a 2-bedroom apartment with utilities is around $1,500. If you have a car, a $12,000 to $15,000 used car is still gonna run you $400 a month. Car insurance and gas is another $300. Student loan payment, $500. You're gonna have groceries for $500. You're gonna have personal care, doctor's appointments, hair, gym, about $150, and then cell phone and miscellaneous $150. That's $3,500 a month, which is baseline. Do you know how much $3,500 a month is? $70,000 a year, or $34 an hour. Because after you take out taxes, put $300 for health insurance, and do a healthy $500 401k contribution, that leaves you with $3,500. This is no fun, no savings, no maintenance, no clothes, no kids, no traveling, no vacations, no bachelor parties, no weddings, no funerals, no clothes, no school supplies, nothing. And this is paycheck to paycheck. And on top of it, they're holding $40,000 of student loan debt, a $15,000 car, and if they ever wanted to buy a house with closing costs and the down payments, another $50,000. So they did $105,000. So even if they were somehow able to scrounge up after $70,000 of paycheck to paycheck, $5,000 to go to a concert, to have avocado toast, whatever it is, $5,000 a year, it would take them 20 years to pay off this debt and save up for a house. 20 years of living with a roommate where that rent's going up, and they're making $70,000 a year as a college graduate. The average person in this country makes $50,000. It is not the overspending. It is a cost of living crisis.
And that was a year ago. Things have only gotten more unaffordable since then. I think a lot of people who are well off truly don't understand that a lot of people who are poor or homeless have jobs, but they simply can't afford to live. Meanwhile, you take a look at the average CEO pay compared to the typical worker. This is from the Economic Policy Institute. CEOs paid 281 times as much as typical workers. And look how that number has increased since the 1980s.
I thought that this was the most pertinent news story for the resistance to hear today, all year long, actually. I'll be surprised if the most pertinent news story in the history of modern America isn't soon after this. And it will be related. And for those who'd rather not see the pitchforks and the torches, I'd say you don't have a long time left. Good luck out there. I hope this video gets 1 million views. If there's any video I've ever made that was for the good of the resistance, it's this one. Now, I'm not saying do or don't do anything except meet me on July 4th. June 28th through July 4th. My voice is going to be gone in a second. I have been on vacation, but I'm not vacation, but at least I have been taking a break. It may not seem like it, but I'm not going to leave pertinent information for the resistance in anybody else's hands but mine. I still got another week left. I hope you've been enjoying what we've been putting up. The time to fight is now. Also, direct action means maybe you need to be throwing some dildos. I didn't say throwing, I'm sorry. Holding, playing. The dildo distribution people. Yeah. You haven't seen them? Go to closertotheedge.com. I'm going to put the link in there that shows you the whole thing that they're doing. It's amazing. But they're using these, and they've got thousands of them now because they realize that they're so effective at warding off these ICE agents at Whipple and Minneapolis. And now around the nation, they're giving these away to people. They're passing them out because that absurdity in the face of this toxic masculinity seems to be the one thing that gets these ICE agents to back off. It actually works. So I want to help them get those donations for the thousands that they've bought. Also, the thousands were donated to them as well. But for the ones that they bought, they need to get that money back, and they need to keep this going because it's working. If nothing else, just to piss off those ICE agents. Email me, politicaldrain@proton.me. politicaldrain.proton.me. You email me, say, I want to donate, and I will give you the instructions on how to do so, because the time to fight is now.
Hey,
Yeah, you. Before you click away to watch someone unbox a tactical toothbrush, let's talk about something real. Political Drain isn't just another content mill. We're a digital front in a very real war. Not with bullets, but with ideas, with action, and with solidarity. We pair urgent news with critical education. And we build community around actual resistance, not the hashtag kind. The kind that moves. But here's the thing. None of this is free. It isn't. Behind every video is time, labor, research, and some weird guy asking if we're going to pay the hosting bill. And yeah, some of that money goes to things we can't necessarily say out loud. If you know, you know. Let's just say our special ops aren't Call of Duty LARPers. They're people making real moves to protect, uplift, and organize. You're not just funding a channel. You're funding a resistance network in a world where capital still calls the shots. Unfortunately, in a system built on artificial scarcity, even mutual aid has a price tag. And if we want to grow, if we want to win, we need your help. We need your help. So if you've got even a few bucks to spare, toss it our way. It's not for ads, it's not for merch drops, but for people making moves in the shadows so others can do it in the light. It's just us and you. So fund the mission, fund the fight, fund the future, because nobody's coming to save us. We save each other. That's how this works.
That was the Political Drain podcast, which can be heard on www.groovechillradio.com/political-drain and can be viewed on the Political Drain YouTube channel anytime. Once again, thank you for listening to Groove Chill as we resist fascism in any form, pursue democracy, peace, and love.